Okay, so this video will be covering the Unit 6 Principles of Management unit, which is part of the BTEC Business Exam Series. So I'm making this video to help me as part of my revision, as I'm a student myself. In no means am I like a trained educational professional. So the content which I'll be saying in this sort of video, I just got from this specification and it's my notes from it so far. So let's make a start with topic A1. This is where we look at the definitions of management and leadership. So management refers to the process of planning, organising, directing, and controlling resources. So this is your people, finance, and operations to achieve organisational objectives efficiently and effectively. Managers focus on systems, structure, and short term goals. Their role is often task orientated, ensuring that day to day operations run smoothly. Now, leadership is the ability to influence, inspire, and guide individuals or teams toward achieving a shared vision or goal. Leaders focus on people, motivation, and long term strategy. They often challenge the status quotas and encourage innovation. So, management by objectives. This is a performance management approach where managers and employees collaboratively set clear and measurable objectives and goals. Their progress is reviewed regularly, aligning individual objectives with organisational strategy. This helps promote accountability and motivation, as well as encouraging strategic alignment across departments. For example, a sales team sets quarterly targets for revenue and customer acquisition. This is then reviewed monthly by the sales manager. So let's look at some theories with situational and contingency leadership. These theories suggest that effective leadership depends on the context. So leaders must adapt their style based on factors like team maturity, task complexity, and external pressures. So situational leadership, this is developed by Hershey and Blanchard. It's where leaders adjust their approach based on followers' competence and commitment. It's in difference to contingency leadership, which is developed by Fiedler. This is where leadership effectiveness depends on the match between a leader's style and the situation. So functional and action-centered leadership. So this focuses on the three core needs: the task, which is achieving the goal, the team, where you have to build collaboration, and the individual, where you support personal development. This also forms under action-centered leadership, which is Adair's practical model, showing that effective leaders balance all three areas simultaneously. So transformational and transactional leadership. Transformational leadership inspires and motivates followers to exceed expectations by creating a compelling vision or fostering innovation. This focuses on change, empowerment, and long-term growth. It's different to transactional leadership, which is based on structured tasks, rewards, and penalties. It's focused on performance, compliance, and short-term goals. So then we have the leadership continuum, which is developed by Tenenbaum and Schmid. This model illustrates a range of leadership behaviours from authoritarian to democratic. This depends on how much authority the manager retains versus how much freedom is given to the team. So you can tell on the more autocratic side, which is more management-centered leadership, we have more tell and sell tasks. On contrary, we have the democratic, which is more subordinate-centered leadership. We have more consulting and joint tasks. Now this model illustrates the range of tasks which can be given. Let's look at topic A2, which look at the functions of management and leadership. So, management functions focus on the operational and strategic coordination of resources to achieve organisational goals. These are typically task orientated and process driven. Leadership functions are centred towards a vision, influence, and motivation. These are focusing on guiding people and shaping organisational culture. So, we're planning and organising. So, planning involves setting objectives and deciding on the actions required to achieve them. It includes forecasting future conditions, identifying resources, and establishing timelines. Organising is about structuring resources, people, finances, and materials to implement plans effectively. It includes assigning roles, creating departments, and establishing reporting lines. So coordinating ensures that different departments and teams are working together harmoniously. It involves aligning activities, resolving conflicts, and maintaining communication across the organisation. Controlling is the process of measuring performance against objectives and taking corrective action where necessary. Now, this ensures that standards are met and resources are used efficiently. So monitoring, this involves tracking progress and evaluating outcomes. It supports continuous improvement, also known as Kaizen, and it supports by identifying successes and areas for development. Now, delegation. So delegation is the assignment of tasks and authority to others. It empowers employees builds trust and allows managers to focus on strategic priorities they have for themselves. So that's a more leadership centered ones with inspiring. So inspiring involves monitoring and motivating others through a vision, values, and personal example. This builds commitment and enthusiasm for the team. Energizing. So energizing means injecting momentum and positivity into teams. This helps overcome challenges and maintain morale together. Influencing stakeholders. This is when leaders influence internal and external stakeholders, such as employees, investors, and customers, to gain support and alignment. Envisioning is the ability to create and communicate a compelling future direction for the organisation. This provides purpose and strategic clarity. And lastly, determining the best path to success. This involves strategic decision making to choose the most effective route to achieve organisational goals. This requires analysis, foresight, and adaptability. So, business culture. Business culture refers to the shared values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviours that shape how people within an organisation interact and work. This influences decision making, communication, and the overall working environment. Culture can be visible, for example, dress code, office layout, or invisible, such as norms, expectations, and leadership styles. So, vision, this is a long term aspirational statement about what a business wants to achieve. Mission, this is a practical statement outlining the organisational purpose and core activities. And the values or ethos, this is the principles and beliefs that guide behaviour and decision making. So, business culture directly affects how managers lead, communicate, and make decisions. In a task oriented culture, managers may delegate authority and encourage teamwork. In a more role centric culture, they may rely on formal structures and procedures. Within innovative cultures, they might promote risk taking and decentralised decision making. Now, in more conservative cultures, they may favour hierarchy, control, and stability. So, policies and procedures are formalised rules that reflect and reinforce business culture. They guide behaviour, ensure consistency, and support legal compliance. Policies, these are broad principles, for example, diversity and health and safety. And procedures are step by step instructions, for example, onboarding processes and grievance handling. Now, strong alignment between business culture and policy builds trust and clarity across the organisation. So let's look at some management styles. So culture influences whether managers adopt authoritarian, democratic, or laissez-faire structures. Authoritarian, this is common hierarchical structures. Decisions are made top-down. Democratic, this is found in collaborative cultures, so inputs from teams are encouraged. And then laissez-faire, this is in autonomous cultures, whereby employees self-manage themselves. So, structure of the workforce. Workforce structures refers to how roles, responsibilities, and reporting lines are organised. Cultures affect whether a structure is flat, so there's few layers, open communication, and fast decision making. Tall, so when there's many layers in the structure, formal communication is utilised and there's clear authority. Or matrix structure, which is cross-functional teams and shared responsibilities amongst the organisation. So, culture shapes working patterns, attitudes, and collaboration styles. Flexible cultures may support remote work, hot desking, and project-based roles. In traditional cultures, they may favour fixed hours, formal attire, and clear hierarchies. Culture also affects motivation, job satisfaction, and employee retention rates, making a key factor in organisational success. To get management and leadership styles. So, autocratic leadership. An autocratic leader makes decisions unilaterally with little or no input from subordinates. So that's a big word for me to say. So communication is top down and control is decentralised. The traits of this is where quick decision making, clear direction, and strong control. So limitations where low employee motivation, limited creativity, and high dependency on the leader. This is best used when tasks are time critical. Employees lack experience or mistakes carry high risk. Now, in a more democratic or participative leadership style, this involves team members in decision making, encouraging collaboration and shared responsibility. This enhances motivation, creativity, and team cohesion, but this may slow down decision making and lead to indecision makes. So, this is best used when input from others is valuable and the team is skilled and engaged. Paternalistic leadership. So a paternalistic leader makes decisions in the perceived best interest of employees. This offers guidance and support when experiencing and expecting loyalty. So this builds trust and loyalty within the team, but it may limit autonomy and discourage critical feedback. Although this is best used when staff require support and direction, and the culture values and care and protection are utilised. So, in a more laissez-faire leadership, so a laissez-faire leader provides minimal direction, allowing individuals or teams to self-manage and make decisions independently. This encourages autonomy and innovation, but it can lead to poor coordination and inconsistent performance. Although employees are highly skilled, motivated, and capable of working independently. Now, transactional leadership. Transactional leader focuses on structured tasks, performance targets, and reward-based systems. Leadership is based on formal authority and clear expectations. This promotes efficiency and accountability, but it may limit the innovation and emotional engagement. Although tasks are routine, performance must be tightly managed and short-term goals are prioritised within this method. So, on the contrary, we have transformational leadership. So, this is where leaders inspire and motivate others to exceed expectation by creating a compelling vision of fostering change. This drives innovation and long-term growth, but it requires strong emotional intelligence and strategic focus. Although organizational culture is needed and employee empowerment is a priority. So, charismatic leadership relies on personal charm, confidence, and emotional appeal to influence and inspire others. This builds strong emotional connections and high morale, although this can lead to dependency and overshadow and team input. This is best used when motivation and stakeholder alignment are essential. So, setting objectives. So, this involves defining clear and measurable goals that align the organisational mission with strategy. Effective objectives provide direction, focus effort, and enable performance tracking. They should follow the SMART criteria, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So motivation is the ability to energize and encourage individuals to perform at their best. This can be intrinsic, which is driven by personal satisfaction, or extrinsic, which is driven by rewards. Leaders and managers use motivation to boost morale, productivity, and commitment. Decision making. Decision making is the process of choosing between alternatives to solve problems or pursue opportunities. It involves gathering information, evaluating options, and selecting the most effective course of action. Good decision-making balances risk, logic, and stakeholder impact. Now, team building focuses on creating cohesive collaboration and collaborative groups that work effectively towards a shared goal. It involves establishing trust, defining roles, and fostering communication. Strong teams enhance problem-solving, innovation, and workplace morale. Leading by example. This means demonstrating the behaviours, attitudes, and work ethic expected of others. Leaders who lead by example build credibility, inspire trust, and reinforce organisational values. This is a key method for influencing culture and setting standards. Consulting involves seeking input or feedback or expertise from others before making decisions. This encourages collaboration, improves decision quality, and increases buy-in. Consulting can be formal, for example, meetings, or informal, such as one-to-one discussions. Now, problem solving, this is the ability to identify issues, analyse causes, and develop effective solutions. This requires creativity, logic, and resilience. Managers and leaders must be proactive in resolving operational, strategic, or interpersonal challenges. Now, valuing and supporting others, this skill involves recognising individual contributions, showing appreciation, and providing resources or encouragement. This builds trust, loyalty, and positive working environment. Now, this also supports leadership and enhances well-being and performance altogether. So, managing conflict means addressing disagreements constructively, prevent disrupting, and maintain team harmony. This involves listening, mediating, and negotiating solutions. Effective conflict management reduces tension and strengthens relationships. Now, building positive interpersonal relationships, this refers to developing respectful, trusting, and collaborative connections with others. Strong interpersonal relationships improve communication, teamwork, and job satisfaction. These are essential for leadership influence and organisational cohesion. So using emotional intelligence, also known as EI. So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage one's own emotions and those of others. This includes self-awareness, empathy, and emotional regulation. Leaders with high emotional intelligence are better at handling stress, motivating teams, and resolving conflicts. Communication is the exchange of information, ideas, and feedback. It can be verbal, written, or non-verbal. Effective communication ensures clarity, reduces misunderstandings, and strengthens relationships across all levels within the organisation. Now, giving feedback involves providing constructive comments on performance, behaviour, or outcomes. This helps individuals improve, reinforces expectations, and supports development. Feedback should also be timely, specific, and balanced. So let's look at C1, which is human resources. So, human resources as a factor of production. Human resources refer to the people who contribute their labour, skills, and expertise to the production processes. Alongside land, capital, and enterprise, labour is a core factor of production. Employees are essential for operating machinery, delivering services, innovating, and managing operations. Unlike other factors, human resources are dynamic. They bring creativity, adaptability, and decision making capacity, which directly influence productivity and competitiveness. Labour market analysis involves studying the supply and demand for labour in a specific region, sector, or occupation. This helps business understand trends in employment, wage levels, skills availability, and demographic shifts. This analysis supports strategic decisions such as recruitment, training, and location planning. Key indicators include unemployment rates, job vacancy data, and workforce qualifications as a whole. A thorough labour market analysis enables businesses to anticipate challenges and align HR strategies with external conditions. Forecasting labour demand is the process of predicting future staffing needs based on business objectives, market conditions, and operational plans. This considers factors such as expansion, automation, seasonal fluctuations, and turnover rates. Accurate forecasting ensures that businesses have the right number of employees with the right skills at the right time. It also helps avoiding overstaffing. This overall increases costs, or understaffing, which reduces efficiency and service quality. So, to conduct effective labour market analysis, businesses use a range of internal and external sources. One of these is government data. So, Office for National Statistics, also known as ONS, Labour Force Survey census data. Now, industry reports, so this is sector specific trends from trade bodies or consultancies. We also have job boards and recruitment platforms. This is real-time vacancy and salary data. We also have educational institutions. This is graduate output and skills pipelines. We also have internal HR metrics. This is stuff from turnover rates, absenteeism, and productivity data. So these sources provide both quantitative and qualitative insights to inform HR, planning, and decision making as a whole. So, links between business planning and human resources. So human resource planning must be closely aligned with overall business planning. So strategic decisions such as entering new markets, launching products, or restructuring directly affects the staffing needs. HR supports business planning by ensuring the workforce is capable, flexible, and ready to meet future demands. This includes recruitment, training, succession planning, and organisational design. When HR is integrated into strategic planning, businesses are better positioned to achieve their goals efficiently and sustainably. So let's look at the impact of globalisation on human resource planning. So globalisation has transformed HR planning by expanding labour markets, increasing competition and diversifying workforces. Businesses now recruit internationally, manage cross-cultural teams and navigate global employment laws. Globalisation also affects wage expectations, skill availability and remote working trends. HR must adapt by developing global talent strategies, ensuring capital and cultural competence, and managing international mobility. This also requires balancing goal consistency with local responsiveness in policies and practices. Let's get HR planning. So, what is HR planning? So, human resource planning is a strategic process of ensuring that an organization has the right number of people with the right skills in the right roles at the right time. This supports businesses' objectives by anticipating workforce needs and managing employment practices effectively. So, different roles require different physical, mental, and behavioural attributes. HR planning must consider whether the work is manual, technical, customer facing, or strategic. Characteristics may include reliability, teamwork, attention to detail, or leadership. Understanding these traits help match candidates to roles and informs recruitment, training, and performance management. Skill levels. Skill levels refers to the complexity and proficiency required to perform a task. Roles may demand basic operational skills, intermediate technical abilities, or advanced strategic thinking. HR must assess current skills levels across the workforce and identify gaps that could affect productivity or service quality. This now informs training programs and succession planning. So, experience brings practical knowledge, problem solving ability, and confidence. It's especially important in roles requiring judgment, autonomy, and specific specialist expertise. HR planning considers experience when recruiting, promoting, or mentoring staff. This ensures that the workforce can meet operational and strategic demands. Educational qualifications provide a foundation of theoretical knowledge and often signal readiness for certain responsibilities. HR must align educational requirements with job specifications, regulatory standards, and industry expectations. For example, roles in finance or engineering may require degree level education, while others may rely on vocational training. So, aptitude. Aptitude refers to an individual's natural ability to learn or perform tasks. It's often assessed through psychometric testing or observation. HR uses aptitude to identify high potential candidates, tailor development plans, and support long term talent strategies. Aptitude is especially valuable when recruiting for growth roles or emerging skill levels and areas. So, workforce flexibility. Flexibility allows businesses to respond to changing market conditions, seasonal demand, and operational disruptions. HR planning incorporates flexible contracts, multi-skilled roles, remote working operations and options, and adaptable scheduling. Flexible workforce improves resilience, cost efficiency, and employee satisfaction. So, core workers are permanent staff central to the business operations and culture. Peripheral workers include temporary, part-time or outsourced staff used to manage fluctuations in demand. Balancing core and peripheral workers enables businesses to maintain stability while adapting to workload changes and budget constraints. So full-time workers offer consistency, deeper engagement and long-term development. Part-time workers is often the peripheral workers. These provide flexibility and cost saving, especially in sectors with variable demand. Now, HR planning considers both to optimise staffing levels, meet employee preferences, and comply with employment laws. So, subcontracting involves outsourcing specific tasks to external providers. This allows access to specialist skills and reduces fixed costs but may limit control and integration. HR must manage contracts, monitor quality, and ensure compliance with legal and ethical standards. 0 hour contracts offer no guaranteed hours, allowing businesses to adjust staffing levels based on demand. Or they provide flexibility, they can also lead to insecurity, low morale, and reputational risk. HR must balance operational needs with fairness and legal obligations. So, temporary staff are hired for short term roles, often to cover absences or seasonal peaks. Agency staff are recruited through third party providers and may be more costly but offer quick access to labour. HR planning ensures that these workers are properly inducted, trained, and managed to maintain performance and compliance. So, operational management actions. Managers address HR issues at the operational level by adjusting staffing levels in shift patterns, reallocating tasks and responsibilities, providing on the job / internal training, managing performance and resolving disputes, supporting employee well-being and engagement. So these actions ensure day-to-day efficiency and alignment with strategic goals. So let's now look at some motivation in the workforce. We'll look at some theories and the impact of motivation on business performance. So, motivation refers to the internal and external factors that stimulate people to take actions that lead to achieving a goal. In a business context, it's about encouraging employees to perform effectively and efficiently. So one of the theories we're going to look at as part of the spec is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Maslow proposed that human needs are arranged within a hierarchy. Managers must ensure lower level needs are met before expecting higher level motivation. So the bottom of the hierarchy, we have physiological needs, such as air, water, food, shelter, such as housing and protection from exposure, such as clothing, sleep, and reproduction as well. Then when you move up the hierarchy of safety needs, which is personal security, love and belonging, which is like family, friends, community, group membership, affection and intimacy. Then we have esteem, which is where it's self-respect, confidence, respect from others, reputation, recognition and achievement. At the top we have self-actualization, which is where creativity, personal growth, moral development, pursuit of meaning is met. So without having the base level needs, you cannot meet the top motivators. So then we have the two factor theories developed by Herzberg. So Herzberg identified two sets of factors. So these are hygiene factors, which prevent dissatisfaction, such as pay and conditions policies. Then we have motivators, which drive satisfaction, such as achievement, recognition, and responsibility. Improving hygiene factors prevent dissatisfaction, but only motivators lead to higher performance. Then we have the scientific management theory developed by F.W. Taylor. Okay, so Taylor believes that workers are primarily motivated by money. So science is not a rule of thumb. Scientifically, you have to train employees, then you have to ensure the most efficient ways of working are used. You have to divide work between managers and workers, and you have to pay based on results. So as you can see here from the diagram, it's an arrow identifying that work study. So you have to identify most efficient and effective methods of production. Then you have to identify, so you have to spot the most efficient workers and see why they are so good. Then we have to train, so you have to train the remaining workers to the best like workers. Then you have to reward, so you have to pay workers based on productivity, for example, piece rates. Then we have E. Mayo's human relation theories. So E. Mayo, at the beginning, believed a scientific management theory. However, he then carried out studies to reveal that social needs and group dynamics are the key motivators. So workers perform better when they're feeling valued and involved. So one of the principles he assessed that social needs matter. So employees are motivated by belonging, relationships, and feeling part of a team. This encourages collaboration and team building. Another one of his principles he developed is communication is key. So open two-way communication boosts morale and engagement. This involves regular feedback and just listening to employees. Then we have managerial involvement. So managers who show interest in employees' well-being foster motivation. So this supports leadership and monitoring. Now we have this last principle, which is group norms influencing behaviour. So peer pressure and team culture shape productivity. So this cultivates positive work cultures. Let's now look at the positives. So increased productivity. This is where motivated staff work harder and smarter. Then with improved quality, this is where greater attention to detail is met. Then we have lower absenteeism and turnover, so this reduces recruitment and training costs. We have enhanced innovation, so motivated employees contribute ideas. There's some negatives, so we have low morale, high staff turnover, reduced customer satisfaction, and increased operational efficiencies. So there's two key factors of motivation. We have financial and non-financial motivators. So let's now look at some financial motivators. So we have wages and salaries. So this is regular income, such as hourly pay and annual salaries. We also have bonuses. This is extra pay for enhanced performances, such as sales targets being met. We have commissions, which is a percentage of sales made. This is common in retail businesses. We also have profit sharing. So share of a company's profits is shared amongst staff. Commonly, it's on an annual basis, which is dividend to staff. There are piece rates, so pay per unit produced. This is common in manufacturing roles. Let's look at some non-financial motivators, such as job enrichment. So by adding meaningful tasks such as problem-solving roles. Job rotation. This is where varying tasks reduce boredom, such as switching departments. Empowerment, which is where you give autonomy and decision-making by self-managed teams. recognition by praising and awarding staff, such as encompassing an Employee of the Month programme. So training and development, such as skill building opportunities, for example, CPD programs, sorry. And then we have flexible working, such as promoting a healthy work-life balance, such as remote working and flexi time. Just at D2, which will look at techniques to meet skills requirements. So businesses use a range of techniques to ensure they have the right people with the right skills at the right time. Skills requirements refer to the specific competencies, knowledge and abilities a business needs to operate effectively. These may change due to technological advancements, strategic shifts such as entering new markets, regulatory changes and workforce demographics. So recruitment is the process of identifying vacancies, attracting candidates and selecting the most suitable person for the role. This is divided into internal recruitment and external recruitment. So internal recruitment is where you hire within the organisation, and external recruitment is when you hire from outside the organisation. So let's look at some benefits and risks of recruitment. So benefits, such as bringing new skills and perspectives. This can fill urgent skill gaps quickly, and external hires will have specialised expertise. But the limitations can be costly and time consuming. There's a risk of poor cultural fit, and it's also may demotivate internal staff if overlooked. This also looks at upskilling, reskilling, and training. So upskilling is when you enhance current employees' skills to perform better in their existing roles. Now, reskilling is teaching employees new skills altogether. This is to transition into different roles. Now, training is a structured learning to improve performance. Benefits of these things, such as cost-effective compared to recruitment. This also boosts morale and retention, and it builds internal talent pipelines. The limitations of this, so you have time investment, and you also may not fully address urgent skills gaps. So outsourcing, this involves contracting external organisations to perform tasks or services that were previously done in-house internally. So access specific skills which were previously not available internally. This also reduces training costs and time constraints and increases flexibility and responsiveness. So benefits and limitations of outsourcing. So this access is to immediate expertise. This can also be cost effective to non-core activities and also frees up internal staff for strategic tasks. Limitations of outsourcing is a loss of control over quality or service standards if not managed properly. There's a potential for confidentiality risks, and this also may reduce internal skills development. So changing job roles is the adjustment of responsibilities, tasks or expectations of existing roles to better match current business needs or employee capabilities. This utilises existing staff more effectively. It also responds to change in technology or market demands, and additionally supports career development and motivation. So some benefits of limitations of changing job roles. So we have cost effective compared to recruitment. This also encourages internal progression and retention rates, and it additionally builds a more adaptable workforce altogether. Although limitations of this may require significant retraining, there's also a risk of role overload or resistance to change, and can also affect morale if not managed well. So restructuring, so reorganising the structure of a business, such as departments, teams or reporting lines to improve efficiency or address skills gaps. Now this aligns workforce skills with strategic priorities, removes duplication or inefficiencies and creates new roles to meet emerging demands. So benefits and limitations of restructuring. So benefits, one of these leads to clearer accountability and better resource use. This also improves communication and collaboration, and additionally enables target recruitment or deployment. However, limitations of this, so it could be disruptive and costly to the business. It can also lead to redundancies or demotivation, and it also requires careful planning and consultation. Now, so training and development, which is part of D3. So training and development are essential for maintaining skilled, motivated and adaptable workforces. Businesses invest in training to improve performance, close skills gaps and support strategic goals. So the TNA, which is the training needs analysis, is the process of identifying gaps between current employee capabilities and the skills required to meet business objectives. Now, this ensures training is targeted and cost effective. This also aligns workforce skills with strategic goals. And additionally, this identifies individual and organizational development needs. So let's look at the process of the TNA. So first we have to assess the current performance and future role requirements. Then you have to use appraisals, observations and feedback. Then lastly, you have to prioritise training areas based on impact and urgency. So look at the types of training. So there's two sort of core methods of training, internal and external. So internal training is developed by in-house staff or trainers. This is cost effective and tailored to business culture directly. For example, a manager wants a workshop on customer service. Now let's look at external. So this is developed and delivered by outside providers or institutions. This provides access to specialist knowledge, networking opportunities as well. For example, staff are attending a course at a local college. Then we have on-the-job and off-the-job training. So on-the-job training is training whilst performing the role itself. This is practical and has immediate application directly to the role you're training for. So for example, you're shadowing a colleague whilst on shift. Then we have off-the-job training. This is where you train away from the workplace. So this encompasses broader learning and less disruption. So for example, you attend a formal seminar or a course. So mentoring. So this is a long-term relationship where more experienced employee supports the development of a less experienced colleague. Now this builds confidence and career progression and also shares knowledge and company values. So coaching is now a short-term goal-focused process where a coach helps an employee improve specific skills or overcome challenges. This now enhances performance in targeted areas and supports behavioural change or leadership development. So how do businesses measure the actual effectiveness of training? So you have to look at the improved performance and productivity rates. You also have to look at the reduced errors or complaints. Then you have to look at the increased employee engagement and retention rates. Then lastly, you have to look at the achievement of strategic goals. So if the goals that you've set are actually being met. Look at the factors which affect the effectiveness of training. So the relevant and quality of the training which was provided, with the support from management, with the opportunities to apply new skills, and with the follow-up and evaluation process. Now let's look at the performance appraisals topic, which is D4. So performance appraisals are formal assessments of an employee's work performance over a set period of time. They help align individual and team efforts with business goals and support workforce development. So the purposes of performance appraisals is to set individual or group targets. So this aligns employee goals with business objectives, provides direction and motivation. This also allows businesses to assess the performance which is being met. So this evaluates how well individuals or teams have met expectations or KPIs. So these are your key performance indicators. Additionally, this can also provide feedback. So this offers constructive input and strengths of areas for improvement. And lastly, you can also identify the training needs. This highlights skills gaps and development for employee opportunities. So there's 4 key types of appraisal. So first we have the self-assessment. So employees evaluate their own performance against set criteria. This encourages reflection and ownership development. This may be biased, however, or overly critical as the employee themselves is assessing. So then we have MBO, which is management by objectives. So this is appraisal based on how well employees meet agreed measurable goals. So clear, goal focused. So this links directly to business strategy. However, this can overlook soft skills or teamwork factors. Then we have rating scales. So this is where employees are scored against a set of criteria, for example, 1 to 5, for communication and teamwork. Standardised and easy to compare across teams. However, this can be too rigid or lack context. Lastly, we have the 360. appraisal. So this is where feedback is gathered from multiple sources, such as managers, peers, subordinates, and sometimes customers. This incorporates a holistic view on performance. This, however, reduces single source bias. But this is time consuming, so this might include conflicting feedback. Let's look at the individual impacts of performance appraisals. We have motivation and morale, such as positive feedback can boost confidence, such as recognition reinforces value. Then we have development. So this identifies strengths and areas for growth, such as supporting career progression. We have engagement, which involves in goal setting, increases commitment and accountability. And lastly, we have risk. So poorly handled appraisals may cause stress, resentment, or disengagement to the team. So now look at the impact of performance appraisals for a business, such as an improved performance. So clear targets and feedbacks drive productivity. We have workforce planning, so this identifies training needs and succession opportunities. Then we have retention rates, so employees who feel valued and supported are more likely to stay with an organisation. And culture, this is regular, fair appraisals promote a culture of continuous improvement, also known as Kaizen. Now look at change management. So managing change. So change is a constant in business, whether driven by internal decisions or external pressures. Managing change effectively is essential for survival, competitiveness, and long-term success. So survival, this is where businesses must adapt to avoid decline or obsolescence, such as responding to market disruption or financial crises. And success, this is where change can drive innovation, efficiency, and growth by adopting new technologies or entering new markets. So this minimises disruption, maintains employee morale, aligns change with strategic goals, and builds resilience and adaptability. So the internal factors are influencing change with leadership styles. So this new CEO might introduce strategic shifts. And we also have culture and values. So in business, maybe focused on sustainability. So this means it may have to change the suppliers. The performance issues of prevailing productivity may trigger restructuring. Innovation, so internal R&D may lead to new product development. Then we have external factors, so technological advancements or automation, AI, or digital platforms being introduced. Economic conditions such as inflation, recession, or exchange rate shifts. We have legal and regulatory changes such as new health and safety laws or data protection rules. Then we have social trends such as changing consumer preferences or ethical expectations. And competitive pressure such as rivals launching new products or pricing strategies. Look at the stakeholders who can influence change with owners. So owners set strategic direction and approve major changes. Then we have managers, these implement the change themselves. So managers communicate with the teams. Then we have the customers who influence demand and expectations. Then we have the regulators who enforce compliance and standards. The financial institutions provide funding or impose conditions. Then we have the government who shape policy and legislation. And lastly, with the employees who work for the organisation themselves. So these deliver change, manage, and may resist or support it. Let's now look at the quality standards. So quality standards are formal benchmarks that businesses follow to ensure products, services, and processes meet defined levels of performance, safety, and consistency. Adhering to recognised standards can improve reputation, customer satisfaction, and operational efficiency. So the BSI, which is the British Standards Institution, is the UK's national standards body responsible for developing and publishing technical standards across industries. The BSI promotes consistency, safety, and reliability in products and services. The BSI also supports legal compliance and consumer protection, and they also provide certification schemes such as the BSI Kite Smart. Now, for example, a furniture manufacturer uses the British Standard Institution standards, bit of a play of words there, to ensure fire safety compliance. Now we have the ISO, which is the International Organisation for Standardization. So the BSI was a national scale. The ISO is now on a international scale. So it's just a scope of both of them. So the ISO is a global body that develops international standards to ensure quality, safety, and efficiency across borders. The ISO 9001 focuses on quality management systems and continuous improvement. So the ISO 9001 facilitates international trade and compliance. They also improve international processes and customer satisfaction rates, and additionally provides a framework for consistent quality assurance. For example, a tech company adopts the ISO 901 to improve service delivery and audit readiness. Okay, now we have the kite mark, which also referred to investors in people with the IIP. So the IIP is a UK-based accreditation that recognises excellence in people management and organisational development. The IIP promotes effective leadership, staff engagement, and continuous improvement. The IIP also benchmark HR practices against recognised standards. Then we have F2, which is developing a quality culture. So a quality culture exists when all members of an organisation are committed to maintaining and improving quality in every aspect of their work. So this goes beyond formal systems such as embedding quality into values, behaviours and daily operations. So setting quality standards, this is defined as establishing clear benchmarks for performance, safety and consistency that guide processes and outputs. Setting quality standards ensures consistency across teams and departments. This also provides measurable targets for improvement. Additionally, this aligns operations with customer expectations and legal requirements. Now we have the managerial commitment and staff buy-in. So leaders must actively support quality initiatives, while staff must understand and engage with quality goals. So this drives cultural change from the top down. This also fosters ownership and motivation amongst employees, and additionally ensures that quality is embedded in everyday decision making. Then we have quality circles. So quality circles are small groups of employees who meet regularly to identify, analyse and solve work-related quality issues. Quality circles encourage continuous improvement and innovation. They also empower staff to take responsibility for quality themselves. And additionally, quality circles improve communication rates across the roles. So partnership, working with suppliers and customers. So collaboration closely with external stakeholders to maintain and improve quality across the supply chain and customer experience. That is the definition for it. So this ensures consistent standards from input to output. This responds quickly to feedback and changing needs. This also builds long-term trust and customer loyalty. So transparent and open communication. This is the process of sharing information clearly and honestly across all levels of the organisation to support quality improvement. This now identifies and resolves issues quickly. This additionally builds trust and accountability, and also it encourages feedback and learning. Now, topic F3, which is the techniques and tools of quality management. So quality management involves the systematic approaches to ensure that products and services meet defined standards and customer expectations. Businesses use a range of tools and techniques to monitor, improve, and embed quality across operations. Quality control is the process of inspecting and checking products and services at various stages of the production to ensure that they meet required standards. Quality control involves detecting and correcting defects before the products reach consumers and customers. It also maintains consistency and reliability, and so this protects brand reputation and reduces returns for on complaints. So how it works, so expectations may occur at raw materials, in processes or finished product stages. Then it's often involving sampling, measurement and comparison against benchmarks. Then quality control may be manual or automated depending on the industry it's working in. So benefits and drawbacks. This prevents faulty products from reaching customers. This also supports compliance with health and safety and legal standards. And it can also be integrated into existing production processes. However, this is reactive rather than proactive. So issues are found after they occur. It can also be costly and time consuming if overused and may not address the root causes of product quality problems. So lean manufacturing is a production philosophy focused on minimizing waste and maximizing value by continuously improving processes. So lean manufacturing eliminates non-value adding activities such as excessive industry waiting time. And it also streamlines workflows and reduces variation. This additionally involves staff and continuous improvement, which is Kaizen. So benefits and drawbacks of lean manufacturing. So this improves productivity and cost effectiveness. This additionally enhances customer satisfaction through faster delivery and better quality. And it also builds a culture of continuous improvement within an organisation. However, looking at some limitations, this also requires cultural changes in staff and training. It's also maybe difficult to implement in complex and unpredictable environments. So just-in-time systems can be vulnerable to supply chain disruptions as well. Let's get the Six Sigma. So the Six Sigma is a data-driven methodology aimed at reducing effects and improving process quality by identifying and eliminating variation. So the Six Sigma achieves near perfect quality, so no more than 3.4 defects per million opportunities. So the Six Sigma uses statistical tools to analyse and improve processes. It's also used to deliver measurable improvements in performance. So the core approach to the Six Sigma, this follows the DMAIC cycle, which is where you have to define, measure, analyse, improve and control. It also uses trained specialists such as green belts, black belts to lead products. Additionally, focus on customer requirements and process capability. So benefits and drawbacks of the Six Sigma: it is highly structured and evidence-based, delivers quantifiable results and cost-saving strategies, and also encourages cross-functional collaboration. However, it can be complex and resource-intensive. It can also require specialist training and leadership support, but it also may be less suitable for small businesses or creative industries. And so topic F4, which is the importance and benefits of quality management. So quality management is defined as a strategic approach that ensures products, services and processes consistently meet defined standards and customer expectations. It goes beyond the inspections. It embeds quality into every stage of the production processes and service delivery, delivering long-term successes. So zero defect production and output. So this is defined as the aim to eliminate errors and defects entirely, ensuring that every product or service meets quality standards the first time around. This prevents waste, rework and customer complaints. It also builds a reputation for reliability and excellence. Now, continuous improvements, which is Kaizen, which I addressed previously in the video. So continuous improvement, often linked to Kaizen, is the ongoing effort to enhance products, services and processes through small incremental changes. This encourages innovation and responsiveness, so it empowers staff to identify and solve the problem itself. Then improved output quality. So quality management ensures that output consistently meet or exceed expectations in terms of performance, reliability and presentation. This delivers value to customers and reduces the variation in consistency. So reduce inspection requirements. So when quality is built into processes, the need for end-stage inspection decreases, saving time and resources. This now shifts from reactive checking to proactive prevention and increases the efficiency without compromising the standards. Supplier engagement and satisfaction. So quality management involves working closely with suppliers to ensure inputs meet required standards and support consistent outputs. This now builds reliable long-term relationships and aligns expectational processes across the supply chain. So customer involvement and satisfaction. So quality management includes listening to customer feedback and involving them in shaping products and services. This ensures outputs meet real needs and expectations and builds loyalty and trust through responsiveness. So improved efficiency and profitability. So quality management reduces waste, errors and inefficiencies, leading to better use of resources and stronger financial performances. This maximises value from inputs and streamlines operations and reduces the costs. Okay, so that serves as the end for the Unit 6 Principles of Management video. I will also be producing one for Unit 2, Unit 3 and Unit 7 in due course. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy, please feel free to give it a like, so I know that people actually enjoy these videos. But yeah, good luck with your exams.